Welcome to LyonStrong, the place where you get to become who you were designed to be. I have an awesome podcast today. I'm really excited about this because this is kind of an honor. I've been waiting to do this for a while, and I am finally having the opportunity to have Aleasha on the podcast with me. Alicia's been with me now for about 4 years or so. We've been working remotely together. She's in Denver, Colorado. I'm in Miami, so obviously a slight difference in terms of location, time, etc. But it's been awesome. We've really had a wonderful time working together, and I'm really excited about having her here to be able to experience and explain to you guys what the experience has been like for her with this. I know a lot of people, they've heard about everyone that's working with us here physically in Miami, but they don't really realize that we have the opportunity to create some of the most powerful things for people that are anywhere else in the world if they just simply plug into the system that we have. So thank you for being here, Aleasha. Thanks for taking the time. I know you're super busy, and it's really cool, man, having you here to do this with us. So welcome.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here. It has been a while.
Yes, it has. We were just talking about this a little bit earlier. It's been 4 years
I
that we've been
know.
working together, and we thought
It,
it was just like one or two, and realized no, it's been longer, a lot longer.
yeah. What's so funny about it is that since we work out remotely, I can work out at home. I just like get to roll out of bed before my kids wake up. And my kids wake up usually like when we're working out remotely. And so you've seen my little baby Lucy, my older one, when she was just a little baby coming to say hi to
Yep.
Lyonel. And now there's a baby that didn't even exist when we first started working together that comes and says hi to Lyonel. So you've seen them grow up.
Yeah, well, what's amazing about the second one is that he doesn't just come out and say hi to Lionel. He comes out to work out too, which is awesome to watch whenever he gets in there to kind of do movements with you. So it's pretty fun.
I know. I'm glad I'm teaching them young.
Yeah, exactly. You're definitely setting a great example for them to be able to see. So it's super cool. Let's go back a little bit if you don't mind, because I want people to kind of get an understanding on how this whole thing got started. I know I met you because I reached out to you about your systems, because you have your sales and strategy and things that and everything else that you do with your Black Sheep sales system. And I just was pretty interested in what you were offering because the way you were talking and how you were going about everything was felt very comfortable and warm to me, because the idea of quote unquote sales like everybody's used to is something that I've always shied away from. But I'm very confident and comfortable in explaining and being who I am basically with people. And what I loved about what you were talking about was that remain who you are. Don't try to become this thing that everybody else was. So I know that was kind of how we got into all of this together, because you were working with me trying to help me set up my own things. What made you decide to say, hey, can we talk about your process? I want you to share that if you don't mind.
You were such a great client for me because I'm Black Sheep sales, and you really do things very differently than the mainstream fitness experts. And I've worked with a lot of fitness experts. And I remember after talking to you, I was like, "Oh wait, because you were like people don't really understand that I'm not just like a trainer." And once I understood more deeply what you did, I was like, "Oh, you help people become injury proof and pain free." And at the time, I was working out with somebody who had gotten someone else I knew really great results, but my entire body was hurting. Like everything was hurting.
Mm.
My my wrists, my back, my knees, I've always issues, lower back issues since like 28 or whatever. And the person I was working out with at the time was like, maybe you should see a doctor. It sounds like you have joint issues. And I was just like, actually, I'm going to work with Lyonel because I know his offer inside out because I've helped put the language around it. And I know that it's a big part of it is becoming pain free. And so we started working together and I did become pain free. My lower back has hurt for so long. And I was always told to stretch to relieve the lower back. And the fact that you told me to stop stretching because the workouts we do stretch me, I mean, that alone has freed up so much time. I was stretching 30 minutes at a time trying to just feel
Holy crap. That's
better.
crazy. Yeah. But that's such a common thing that people think that they have to do that in order to be able to get results or get relief. And it's just simply because they don't understand what's actually happening in their bodies.
Yeah, I have worked with, for whatever reason, I've always been into fitness since I was like
Mhm.
15. And I can say that this is the best shape that I've ever been in. And everybody else would agree. And it's
That's
less
awesome.
time. So before the lady that I worked with that I got all that pain, before that, I was working out with somebody who is having me do weight training 4 times a week. and then cardio for 4 times a week, and 60 minutes of cardio 4 times a week. I just didn't have time. I had just had a baby and I was barely having any time. And
Right.
now with you, I just work out 30, 45 minutes 3 times a week, and that's it.
I know, right? Isn't it amazing? Because this is the one thing that I always understand that people don't get, right? They have this mentality that they have to do everything so hard, and it's got to be all these days, and it must be all this time put in. Otherwise, there's no way you're going to be able to get results. I'm like, why? That's not necessary. You are perfectly, proof of that. It's not just that you only work out 3 times a week. It's literally the fact that I get to see you for about 20, 30 minutes, sometimes 45 minutes in a day. And there's some weeks where we don't even get a chance to do that all 3 days.
Yeah.
And yet, here it is. As time's going by, you are literally getting better and better and better. Watching your strength develop over the years has been amazing. Watching your abilities to move and just how fluid you are now compared to before. I mean, one of the things, I remember when we got started, I told you that you were clunky in terms of how you moved because of how you've gone about doing your training all along. It was never about actually integrating everything. It was always about separating your body, so to speak, from itself. And it was really nice to be able to see you just like fluid. I was watching you the other day as Eileen was working with you, and I'm like, damn, look at her go. Holy crap. Wow, that's so different. It was like super exciting, Like so, and you know
Yeah.
me, I'm really big on that. I don't necessarily come out and tell you all the time, well, yeah, everything is perfect, wonderful, because I always find the little things.
Yeah.
But man, when I see movements that are just like spot on, I can't help but just say, holy crap, that was awesome. That was awesome. So
Well, and it's a product of you, which is pretty cool. I can move like that because I've worked with you. And another thing that's really interesting. So when we first started working together, I had 3 months that I wasn't pregnant, and then I got pregnant.
yeah,
And so it's not like I could really see results being pregnant. My waist isn't going to get smaller. It's going to get
right.
bigger. But I had a 10-minute birth, and I did not have any issues with recovery. Immediately, I was able to do anything that I wanted to do. When I had my first baby, it was like a 18-wheeler had hit me. Like I could
Mm,
barely move. I felt very unprepared for how out of commission I would be. And I think that our working out really had a lot to do with that. And then the other thing is you always say we're not working out, maybe you're not necessarily training for a half marathon, right? Or something
right.
like that. But you can do it because of the exercises that we've done. So I live in Colorado, and a lot of people here like to climb what they call 14ers. And it's, I don't know, 5,000 feet in elevation gain in a day,
Okay.
in a few hours. And everybody has to get trained for it, right? They're going and they're hiking and doing harder hikes and longer hikes until they can do the 14er. And I just scampered up that thing without having trained at all because, again, of the work that we've done together. So, I mean, it kind of sounded like BS when you were like, no, you can do whatever. And I know Eileen has had this too. She's like, yeah, I was able to sprint 3 miles or whatever. Whatever. It's kind of surprising that you can pick up whatever and do it without hurting yourself or being tired.
Yeah. Well, it has a lot to the fact that your body's integrated, muscles are working together. Everything is actually moving the way it should because it's not just what we do in the gym, quote unquote, that matters. It's literally training you to move better in your entire life in literally everything that you do. So when you have that and you have that connection and you have that awareness, so to speak, of everything, I don't care what it is that you take on, you're going to be better at it than most people because you're just naturally moving better. It's not a gym thing. And I think that's what people don't know until they experience it because they go to the gym, they train for years and years and years, and yet they still struggle to do things outside of the gym that are not related to what it is that they were doing there. And when you think about the way most people train, whatever they do in the gym, there's nothing in their real life that's actually related to that. Or if there are, it's very, very few things. So they'll find that they'll typically struggle with some sort on all the other stuff that they do. They have to go, quote unquote, prepare for it. What we do here, however, is literally mimicking real life in every way and actually making things more challenging than what you typically find in real life. So when you get thrown into a situation where more people would have to go get ready for, you're already there. I say this all the time. If you stay ready, you never have to get ready. You literally experience that with what we're just talking about. Eileen got to experience that running with her daughter, going in on 4-mile runs at the beach and everything else, and realizing we don't run Not like that anyway. So the idea that you can just go pick up and go run 4 or 5 miles and be okay and not completely beat up afterwards, it's just like, whoa, I don't know. But I love the fact that with our clients and the things that we do here, we could totally do that. And so it's comforting to hear it from others, not just from me, because people always have the assumption, well, it's because it's you. That's why you can do that. No, it's because of how we train. That's why we can do that.
Yeah, it
And you just
is.
proved that.
And I mean, the ways that I worked out before were definitely isolated movements, like you're talking about, isolated legs, isolated arms, and you have leg day, you have arm day, you have full body day or core day or whatever. And it's not like that at all with you. It's just all every day is the whole body, which I really like. And using the mace is something that I didn't even know existed. And I remember when I started using it, I really liked it because it makes me feel like this badass
Yeah.
warrior, ninja person, which
Yeah.
is empowering. And I was like, oh, should I go to a mace gym? And I looked it up in Denver and there were mace gyms around. I was like, should I go there? And you were like, they're only going to do mace stuff. And that was what's so different about you is that you don't just do one modality. There's
No.
so many and they're all combined into the same workout. So it's really I've not been able to find anything like it.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things. I mean, 40 years experience. It's crazy every time I say this because I realize I've been doing this for literally 40 years. What the hell? I must be getting old or something.
Yeah, that's what that means.
Yeah, that's well, okay. Let's not go there because I don't think I don't know. I mean, I see me move and I see the things that I'm able to do, and I'm like, that can't be old. If that's what old is, man, more people should get here.
Yeah.
You know,
No, for
because
sure.
yeah, I mean, literally, more people should definitely get here. But anyway, what I think is amazing about that, though, is that everything I've experienced, I've always found benefits in, and I've never been one to just kind of dismiss one thing for the benefit of something else, so to speak. Because I always figured out ways to be able to integrate things and make them work well together. So I think that people will see different dynamics that they may be familiar with in the things that I do, and they'll think, "Oh, you do blank." No, blank is a part of what we do, but that's not all that we do. There's so much more to it. And it's only when you hear and you're part of everything that you start realizing that, okay, yeah, this is not the same as taking blank course or this course or that thing or that modality, like you just said. It's so much more than that. And I mean so much more. And every time you're going through it, right, and you're learning and you're realizing and you're doing, and you think, okay, I got this figured out. Yeah, you find out that there's way, way more to it than you even thought possible, which is awesome. I love
Well,
that part.
well, one of the things that's really unique about what you do is that you have so many adaptations or modifications based on fitness level. So when you
Mhm.
master one adaptation, there's a next level, and there's a next level, and there's a next level. So it's not like you're done.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. And one thing that's really cool for me, right, is I get a chance to be part of the whole testing process for you guys. Because there's nothing that you do that I don't do. So it's just kind of cool. And I think in some levels, right, there's certain things that I can be a little bit more advanced than others in. I think what it does is kind of give you guys like some kind of a hope, like, okay, you may think that, man, I'll never be able to do that. But then the difference between you and me is just simply time. I've been doing it longer. So if you can see that it's possible, it definitely makes it a little bit more attainable for you, which is
Yes.
cool.
And I really like that I don't have to drive to a gym. Maybe some people think that in person is better, but you have to drive to a gym and you have to drive away from the gym. And that's a lot of effort that I don't want to do. I want to be sleeping during that time instead of driving. And so I really like that. Honestly, I would have never worked out 3 times a week pregnant if I had not had the accountability of you guys being there at my
Yeah,
5:30 in the morning. I wouldn't have done it. I had morning sickness for 6 months,
I
and
remember.
I just showed up because I knew y'all were gonna be there.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's something people think in person only means like you got to be able to come to the gym in order to be able to do that. They don't realize that we can literally do that no matter where you are. Yeah. 5:30 in the morning, you'd show up, we'd be here waiting. Okay, you ready? Let's go. And of course, there were times when, like you said, you were going through that, it's kind of like take time to process, get your body to settle down, whatever you needed to basically do before we got started. That's going to ensure that you could actually go through and complete your workout. We did. And then if we need to change anything in the process, we did that too. But one of the things that I love the most is that never once did you have to lose a step or step back or change what we were doing when it came to you being pregnant. Because I know that was one of the questions that you had. Am I going to be able to
Mhm.
keep doing this as I'm getting more and more? And my response to you was, we could literally do this until the day you're delivering. And we
Yeah,
kind of
we
did, didn't we?
did. No, we actually did. So, I think the only exercise we weren't able to do was the ones that required me to be on my stomach on the
Yep.
ground, but everything else, I probably didn't do as many rounds, but I did all the movements.
Yeah. Yeah. Which was awesome. And I think that was really helpful in everything that happened when you got to delivery and post delivery, so to speak. So, which is nice.
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, as a mom, I'm always carrying a toddler or a baby, and
Hmm.
that's an uneven weight that I'm carrying that's very off balance. It can really hurt your back if you're not training for that. And so,
Yeah.
so much of our exercises prepared me for that. It's not like these are for pregnant people or moms who have to carry toddlers and babies, but it definitely worked out that way.
Yeah, yeah, and I love that. And like I said, one of the coolest things now is watching Finn coming in and working out with you. That's so cool because watching first of all, we were there before, right? Then pregnant with him, then he's born, and now he literally trains with you, which is so damn awesome. And I'm so thankful because like I got to be there through that whole entire process. And that's something that's pretty unique and super special to me. So anytime I see him in the videos and he's coming in and he's doing stuff, I get all giddy watching that, man, because it's just the coolest thing because he's just so into it.
Yeah, I think it's so cool that you guys have seen like I mean, these are really precious years and
Yeah.
it's most people just see them once every few months and you guys see them at 3 days a week.
Yeah, that's true. And we see
Yeah.
them both. And it's so cool now because I remember before it used to be like waking up and when Lucy would wake up just to come down and she would just be all shy,
Yeah.
not wanting to come in, just barely say hello, would hide for a little bit. And then after a few minutes, of course, running around and playing and having a good time. Versus now, it's just coming down all into it, everything
Yeah.
else. It's such a cool thing to be able to see that progression, and then seeing Finn basically going through the same process. Yeah.
Yes, I do.
This has
And
been a great experience watching your kids grow up with you while you're training. That's been awesome.
yeah, and I mean, I'm thinking about moving to Argentina and I'm excited that I'll still be able to do remote training.
Bingo. Doesn't
Yeah.
matter where you are. Argentina's kind of that you have internet access. Fantastic. We're good to go.
Yeah.
So I love that. The only thing that might change, well, actually, not really. I was gonna say is the time, but that might change for you, but not necessarily for us, right?
I picked Argentina because it's the same, it's CST, it's in Central Time Zone. So,
Okay, perfect. Then absolutely no change on any
yeah,
on any front, right?
I
Which is
know.
awesome. So you get to keep your routine exactly the same that it is. Nothing will be different, except well, we'll be looking at a different room. So we won't have the same background with the training and everything else that we've had before. That's about it. Everything
Yeah.
else though, will be pretty cool.
If I was bound to somebody physically in person, that would suck.
Yeah, that would, wouldn't it? Because now you'd have to go change and start something all over again. Yeah, that really that's something that I kind of want to talk about because I think people don't realize there's a huge shift towards the remote training process, and people are only used to one type of thing that they're seeing, like the big group classes where everybody's just running around just trying to do the same thing. And I am not a big fan of that model because I can't really provide what I would provide, the service, the specific, the detailed, so to speak, like the hand holding, like I call it. I don't think I can do that if I'm watching the screen with 50 damn people in it because I'm not seeing anything.
Mm.
So I love the fact that the way our system is designed, it doesn't matter which method you use, you're still getting that like hand holding the whole way, basically. Because there's times where we're not able to meet for one reason or another. You still get your workouts in and we still get to review everything and see everything that you're doing and still give you the feedback and everything else that you need on it all. Testament, so to speak, to the way that the system is designed is that it's there to be able to deliver to you no matter where you are, no matter what you choose to do, no matter how you choose to approach it. It's made to be easy, so to speak, to help you get there. You just have to have the desire for it.
Yeah, and I think that there's an argument that people have for in person that it's like, well, I'm not going to go unless it's in person. I'll just skip it. But if somebody's meeting you on Zoom, I think it's really hard to say I'll just skip it because
Yeah.
somebody's like still reserving that time for you.
Yeah, exactly. That makes a difference. And so this is cool because I know, like I said, we've had interviews with different clients that are here and they've talked about their experience, but this is really the first time that people are getting to hear from someone that's not physically here with us. And the fact that the results are just as, if not more amazing in terms of what you've gotten and how it's been for you, I think that speaks volumes. And that's something that a lot of people definitely need to consider. So I'm glad you came on and shared some of that. Is there anything else that you'd like to tell anyone or share about your experience and the things that's happened since you've been working with us?
Whenever I try to tell people about you, I think it's kind of hard for me to explain sometimes, but I'm basically like, everybody's sitting and walking incorrectly and it's hurting them. It's almost hard for people to wrap their brain around.
It is, isn't it?
Uh, yes, it is. They're like, "Okay." I'm like, "So you have back pain," and people will do all this stuff to get rid of their back pain. They'll wear a brace, they'll go to PT, they'll get surgery. I have a neighbor who just
Hmm.
got ACL surgery, and I try to tell him, like, "You don't have to do that. There's an issue with your muscles not being integrated, and it's putting unnecessary strain on these other parts of you." And they just almost don't believe that it's possible.
Yeah.
But I haven't had my back go out once in 4 years since working with you. And that's a really big deal for me.
Yeah. Because I remember part of the conversation when we started was like, yeah, I'm in pain like all the time. It's like, oh, why didn't you say something? I was like, well, because I thought it was normal because it's been like that since I was 15, or something like that. I was like, okay, that's not normal at all. There's something that you're doing every day that's causing your pain. And you were like, huh, okay. Do you think you could fix that? Yeah, I know I can, but we got to go through the process and determine that. And once we did, it was super easy to be able to make the corrections and get you moving differently and in terms creating different results for you. What I
Yeah.
love about all of this now is that there's no going backwards for you now. Even if you tried, you couldn't do things wrong anymore because you don't know how.
Well, I've been doing it for so many years, and that's what I hope, because I know that like the later you start, you have all of these years to replace that you weren't doing it.
Right.
So I'm excited that I've got a leg up and that I will age just like you've aged, which is not aging.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. No, the beautiful thing is because you've learned, like, even if you tried doing things the incorrect way, you don't know what that is anymore because you've gone so far ahead. You've kind of like reprogrammed your body to function differently. And so what you know is what you know now, and what you know will continue building upon that, but it will never go back to what was there before that used to cause the issues that you had. And that's what I love about this. And that's why I love watching you and watching you just keep getting better and better and better and better every day, which is awesome.
Yeah, one
So
day I'll be able to jump from my squat into what is that, from your knees to standing?
yeah.
One day.
Oh yeah, you're a lot closer than you think,
What Eileen says.
Yeah, you are so much. I mean, we're watching you do this. I'm telling you, you are a lot closer than you think. And it's one of those that the first time is scary because you think there's no way it's not going to happen. And then you do it and you're like, oh, that's way easier than I thought it was going to be. That's usually the response that people have. It's just
Uh,
getting over that initial fear of doing it. That's just always kind of the hurdle. So we'll get you there. Strength wise, technique wise, you have it all down. You have everything you need to be able to do that. Just need to take that step.
all right,
Just
well,
like everything else we've done, you'll take that step. It'll come.
so to be continued then.
Yeah. Yeah. Looking forward to that.
Okay.
Looking forward to that. Wow, this was awesome. Thank you so much for coming on and sharing your experience with us. I really, really hope that everyone gets to see and understand why it's been so much fun for us working with you. This has been a great journey. It started from one thing, but just completely morphed into something pretty awesome. And really, now with everything that we do and how we do this, you're such a big part of who we are, what we do, how we go about doing things. And we love, love, love having you on and working with you every day. Well, 3 times a week, that is, putting everything through. And since seeing the kids just like grow up with this has been awesome. And I'm thankful for that. That is an experience that I hope everyone gets to have, but I know that most people aren't going to. So I'm thankful and I'm blessed for it. And once in a blue moon, we get to share a little glimpse of that with everyone by posting some of your stuff and everything else
Right.
to record, which is awesome, which I love. I love, love, love whenever we get to do that. So thank you for that. You
Me
know?
too. I'm grateful that we found each other. Thank you, Lyonel.
Me too. Me too. Me too. Well, folks, thank you so much for taking the time to listening in. And again, thank you, Aleasha, for taking the time for being here. This was great. I really, really enjoyed talking to you and having you share with everyone the experiences that you've had. And those of you out there that are going through whatever it is you're going through, right? And you're trying to think that, man, can it get better? Yeah, it can. You just need to have the right support, the right environment, the right people basically around you. And if you have questions, you need to know where to go, or you want us to point you in the right directions, reach out. I'd be more than happy to have a conversation with any of you to help you figure out what you need to do to make your life as wonderful as some of my clients are having, whether it's working with us or anyone else that you need to be able to help you get there. All right. Listen, guys, you can do things the right way. You don't have to suffer. And we really, truly want to help you make things better. So thank you for turning in. Thank you for listening to us. And I will see you guys on the next one. Peace out. We love you guys. Bye.
Bye.